Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bits and Pieces, a series just for you, Visual Studio subscribers. And I want to thank you for joining us today. I am your host. I'm April Yoho, and I'm a developer, and I work for GitHub. Now, today, we're going to be diving into Visual Studio's newest benefit, Cloud Academy, which is a QA company. They're going to offer select subscribers 12 months of access to their top-notch course catalog. So today we're going to be learning more all about the wealth of resources that are offered by Cloud Academy. So stick around. We're going to discover some very cool features that set them apart, like their AI assistant, Ella, and some other pretty cool unique aspects of their labs. Joining us today is Jeremy Price. He's a solution architect at Cloud Academy, and he's also a computer engineer by trade. He specializes in cloud technologies and holds an impressive 13 certifications in the field. He also delivers instructor-led training sessions, and he consults with customers to help them really maximize and leverage their training to their fullest potential. So you ready? Let's get started. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me, April. It's great to be here.
It's great for you to be here. Really, thank you for joining us and telling us all about the cool things today with Cloud Academy. Now, as we get started, can you help our audience understand more about Cloud Academy itself? Also, include some of its history and maybe the significance of its name as a QA company.
Absolutely. So Cloud Academy has been around for quite a few years now, and it's a great online self-paced learning tool that many folks have used. Now, in 2019, QA purchased Cloud Academy. Now, QA does a lot with instructor-led training, and it's huge in the UK as well as globally. And when they purchased Cloud Academy, what they really added was that ability for folks to go and do that self-paced learning. So now we have Cloud Academy is being absorbed by, and the platform is absorbed by QA. So you'll see a lot of QA when we go through and talk about the platform here in just a bit, but there's still some bones of Cloud Academy in there.
Awesome. Can you kind of walk us through more about the course catalog, some of the certification preparation courses you all have, and some of the key features that are offered on the Cloud Academy platform?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's take a look at the platform. So what we've got here is our Azure training library, and there's lots of different resources for folks around different certifications, as well as different services and tools that are available in Azure. So I wanted to highlight a little bit about how somebody might prepare for a certification. So let's say that I am heading over and preparing for the AZ-104 exam. With this particular course, it's a collection of lessons, which are those recorded lectures. So I can go in there, I can watch the lecture, I can interact with that material. I also have exams that I can take to make sure that I'm really, letting that knowledge sink in. So doing some of those multiple choice exams as we go through. And then we also have labs. And I'll be honest with you, labs are my favorite part of the platform. Allows you to get in there and really practice with that knowledge. But these courses really focus on all the different things you're going to need to know in order to pass that particular certification. Now, focused on certifications here, it's not the only thing that we have on the platform. We have lots of other content that's available, but as a guy who focuses a lot on certifications, this is my home away from home.
Understood. And it sounds like there's so much value with Cloud Academy that you're bringing to subscribers. Can you tell us a little bit more how you tailor the learning paths to maybe people's skill levels and also their career goals?
Absolutely. So certifications are a great starting point, but we also have a capability on the platform called Smart Skills. And with these Smart Skills, what you can do is for select skills on the platform, you can come in, you can take an assessment. And what this assessment does is it kind of rates how well you know this existing stuff. So I've chosen one here called Designing Compute Solutions in Azure. If I take this assessment, it'll go through, tell me how well I did. And then from this list over here, it'll say, you know what, Jeremy, you already know enough about Azure App Service. You don't need to take this training. So it'll help me pare this down from about 6 hours into a smaller bite-sized chunk, depending on what I already know. And this is super handy as your listeners probably know, right? You probably have some background in some of these services already. So you don't need to necessarily take all of this stuff.
I love that because we're meeting people where they're at and not vice versa, right? So that's fantastic. So I've also heard that Cloud Academy has a variety of labs with really cool features. Can you tell us a bit more about those?
Absolutely. So there are three different kinds of labs on our platform. So, first up is the hands on lab. The hands on lab is we're going to tell you exactly what to do, where to click, what values to put in there. And we're really going to hold your hand as you go through the lab. So, it's great for especially those first couple of times that you're working with the technologies. We also have something called a lab challenge. Now, with a lab challenge, we're going to tell you the end goal. What's the output that you need? So, in this Azure Virtual Machine Basic Challenge over here, we're going to tell you to go spin up some virtual machines and tell you how to configure them, but you're going to have to do that stuff. So it's a great way to really practice that knowledge and those technologies. The third kind we have is a playground. And in the playground, it's just kind of an open space for you to go in, usually restricted to one or two services to go in and try out some stuff. Maybe you've got some things you want to prove out. Maybe these labs had the start of it, but maybe you want to go try out some other things. Playground labs are great for that. And when it comes to the lab, as I mentioned, when you come in here and hit that start lab button, it's going to spin up one of our Azure accounts, make that available to you to go and do these lab steps. So you're not going to have to do your own account. There's no setup involved on your part. We're going to handle all of that in our labs. Also, within our labs, we have an AI assistant that can help you out. So if you get stuck, if you got questions, you want to dive a little bit deeper, all of these labs that have the little yellow thing in the lower right-hand corner have Ella enabled for them. Now, Ella works for our labs as well as our recorded lectures and even a little bit in the exams. Now, it's not going to give you the answers to the questions, but can help you out with that material.
That's awesome. So, look, Jeremy, I agree with you. The labs are one of my favorite features as well. I love that subscribers can use the sandbox to kind of test, develop their skills, and they don't have to worry about monthly Azure spend or credits or any of that. So, it's fantastic to know this is right at all the subscribers' fingertips. Now, you did mention Ella, which is Cloud Academy's expert learning assistant. Can you tell us a little bit more about Ella and how it enhances the learning experience for all the users out there?
Absolutely. So let's say I'm watching this lecture on the overview of Azure services, and I've got some questions. Within this lesson, maybe I'm getting a great overview of Azure, but I want something more. So we have a couple of pre-done things that you can do here. You can get it to summarize some things. You can ask for a practice question. You can ask it to explain it a little deeper. But I had one that I wanted to ask it about. So how can Azure be integrated with GitHub? So Ella has been trained on the transcripts for all of our lectures, the lab materials that we've got, all of that stuff. So it knows all of our materials very well. So Ella is now pulling all of that information together and talking about how I can build on this knowledge and integrate Azure with GitHub.
That's fantastic. You shared so much valuable stuff today with us about Cloud Academy. But how do you guys stay ahead of the curve in terms of quality of content and the learning trends that are out there? Because tech is always changing so fast.
So our content creators are practitioners. They're software developers. They're cloud architects, right? And they're out there attending the conferences, reading literature, staying up to date with things. You know, we're a Microsoft partner, so we're reading all of the announcements that are coming out and really trying to keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on in the industry. The flip side of that is we also talk with a lot of our customers and talk about what are you building? How are you building it? What are your learning needs? What are the services that you need more training in? So kind of a two-pronged approach. What's the industry doing and what are our customers doing?
That's awesome. It sounds like you all are really staying ahead of the curve. And I think also it's really important to hear feedback directly from the learners, the users of your courses. How can our subscribers share feedback on your courses, your labs, et cetera, directly to you?
So great way to do that is within the lab or the lecture. I've got a lecture up right here. Easiest way is I liked it, click on the like button. I didn't like it, click on the dislike button. But to give us more detailed feedback, there's an issue button right here. And you can click that and tell us, hey, there's some outdated content, grammar typo. I've used this other feedback quite a few times to say, hey, this part was confusing. Maybe we need to add some more materials in there. So great way to get your voice heard and help to affect that material so that helps the person coming behind you.
That's awesome. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit and I want to ask you a question kind of more on a personal note. Could you share maybe a cool success story of a user that's been on your platform and maybe how it helped their career?
Sure. So the story I know best is my own. So I joined Cloud Academy a while back, and I had 4 certifications to my name. Well, as part of my role, I helped to build and deliver our certification preparation workshops. Well, in order to be able to deliver those, I need to have sat for the exam, and I really want to have passed the exam. I don't like to just take it. So I used our platform to study for and in most cases pass those exams. 13 total so far, and the content on the platform really works for the way that I learn. I like to go in, 30 minutes here and there, kind of learn a new thing, practice something in the labs, fire it up, maybe a day or two later, keep practicing that stuff. And it's helped me really get from I kind of sort of know the services and things I would use into being able to really apply that stuff and really work with it from a build one of those kinds of aspects.
That's really cool. I love that. And I love that you can take and learn when it's convenient for you and kind of bits and pieces, like the name of the show. Sorry, bad joke. Right. So, Jeremy, I want to look ahead a little bit into what you all are doing. What can subscribers look forward to? Could you maybe share some content that will be refreshed or added in their near future?
Absolutely. So these days, you can't do anything without AI and machine learning. So we've got a lot of stuff on our artificial intelligence roadmap. Generative AI. How do you use generative AI? And then for software developers and stuff, how do you leverage those services that are available in the cloud? So that's a big one. We have a lot of stuff also being built in the security realm as well as in the DevOps realm because those are tools and techniques that aren't going away, and there's constant change in those services. So got a lot of stuff on the roadmap for basically how can you do your job better, do it faster, better, cheaper, and more secure.
Awesome. Jeremy, thank you so much for joining us today and providing us with some great information on Cloud Academy's learning platform. For everyone else, that's it for today, but I want to thank you for joining us. Now, if you haven't already, please be sure to activate your Cloud Academy benefit at my.visualstudio.com. It will allow you to learn, master, and apply those new development skills. So that's it for today. I'm April Yoho, and I look forward to showing you more about how to use all the bits and pieces of your Visual Studio subscription. And until next time, happy learning.